And we are live. Welcome, 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 everyone. You are listening to PG with Unapologetic Tea Time. I am your host with the most. Hope everyone is doing well. It is shortly after 12 midnight on Thursday morning, May the 28th, the year 2020. This is part two of my little mini series, America Through My Eyes. Part two and the final part of this little mini series that Unapologetic Tea Time has broadcast to you 2 days in a row. America Through My Eyes, part two. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I know it is a bit late. I'm getting on. I had a few little technical difficulties. For some reason, Comcast has been down in my area for several hours, and I was none too happy about that. But anyway, I just wanted to come on and finish up my little mini series of my views and my opinions on the state of America today. The first thing that I want to discuss opening my show today is the protests for the man who was brutally murdered by the police officers that, of course, said that they got a phone call and they had responded to a report on forgery. And it goes, into detail and on about, the gentleman getting out and named George was getting out and was, I guess, somewhat belligerent from some reports. I don't know. I wasn't there. And then supposedly became combative and was somewhat resistant, which I don't believe. It's the typical shit that they throw on everybody. When you have to exit the vehicle, most of the times they'll slap some bullshit about especially if you are of a particular ethnicity or particular darker shade of color in, the world as we know it today. So, of course, you cannot resist, and they'll say you're resisting. You can just be standing there, hands up, don't shoot, whatever, and they'll throw you to the ground or whatever. But anyway, long story short, they put the officer held the man down, put his neck, and most of all, kneeling down. When you put your knee on someone's neck, it cuts off the blood circulation and what have you. But in all essence, to come to the gist of everything, they suffocated the man. The man died right there. He was probably, when he lost motion, he was damn near in a coma. And probably he expired en route to the hospital. But the reports that I've seen and I've read, and some of the video reports and some of the interviews say two things. He expired en route to the hospital, and then several of them say he expired shortly after getting to the hospital. So I'm not sure. Either way, this was a senseless death that occurred. It was senseless. It did not have to happen. And the firing of the officers or officers involved is not enough. People have taken to the streets with the protests about how they feel and the injustice that we feel that was made. Because they showed him no mercy. They showed him no humanity, nothing. From one human being to another. I mean, it was just atrocious. Brutally murdered right before our eyes on video. And thank God we're living in a time, in my viewpoint, and in my opinion, where we can document shit now more so than ever. And this is what needs to happen. remember on yesterday, I spoke about young Black children, young men and women, sons and daughters, nieces and nephews. We need to purchase them a car camera for their vehicle. And it needs to be, if you can't afford to buy the two-way camera, buy the one-way and swing the bitch around, pointing towards, if they get stopped, turn it around towards them so that they can record footage, record voices, record things, two-way conversations and stuff, because it is critical to the survival of these young people. Also, have a family friend. Everybody probably knows someone who is in law enforcement. Have a family friend come over and discuss with your sons and daughters, nieces and nephews, and what have you, of driving age, what they're supposed to do, how to keep their hands, shown at all times. Ask permission to go in your glove box or above your head over the sun visor to get proper identification or insurance or registration, your little paperwork or whatever needs to be done. So with saying that, I'm going to jump back into what I opened up with, the senseless murder of the gentleman. But more so, when we step out and rally up the troops, we have to do it in a certain way. No matter if it's peaceful or not, of course, unfortunately, the other side, the other militia, is going to deem it most times violent, totally out of line. When you're just marching through the streets peacefully, maybe chanting or whatever, they will say that it's an all-out riot. Of course, they'll say that things are going to be thrown at them and different things when there's nothing thrown, perhaps. But now I'm not there, so I have not visualized with my own set of eyes whether or not there was some type of rocks being thrown at law enforcement or pieces of glass or what have you. I don't know. But I know that when the good old gals and good old boys stormed the federal building in Michigan, not 1 ounce of tear gas was erupted and let loose on those people who were totally fucking out of order, carrying guns, wide up, doing the most. SWAT stickers, nooses, they, doing the most. Now, let's speed forward to a few weeks later, and when it's blacks involved, we bring out the riot gear and the tear gas, and we shoot the tear gas and the bean bags and what have you into the crowd to disperse the crowd. So it is a difference when you are a different color. And it is vivid to me and easily seen from my perspective and from my eyes what's going on. There is a difference. I don't give a damn if people say, well, no, fuck, well, no. This is the kind of shit that black people deal with. This is the kind of shit that you can't fucking shop while you black, trying to retrieve some merchandise that you've paid for and all kinds of other things over the years. And right now that continues to happen. You can't even watch fucking birds without fucking dog being unleashed, and you just asking for the owner of the pup to be put, to put the dog on a leash and just be, considerate of other people in a park. You can't even do that being black. Things are happening so fast until every day you can hardly keep up with the shit that's happening, shall we say. It's just unconscionable to me. When will it stop? It's going to stop when we end up in an all-out race war and may the best color win. That's what's going to happen. That's when it's going to stop. because we have kumbaya fucking yard. We done prayed our way. We done walked arm in arm. We done walked hand in hand. We done sung, all kinds of Negro spirituals. We done the most. We done been in jail. We have sat peacefully. We have protested peacefully, and you motherfuckers still don't get it. You still don't get it. So now, what's happening to happen now in this day and time is violence with violence, unfortunately, because and it doesn't solve anything until you get the message, or I got the word, they got the word. Get the fucking word, okay, that we ain't going back to slavery. We're not fucking going nowhere. We ain't, no matter how you try to kill us, it's not, look, it's a whole bunch of us, okay, and there's many of us that's gonna fucking survive, all right. And in the interim, while you trying to do what you trying to do to try to wipe out the race, that's not going to happen. I'm sorry that people of other ethnicities feel threatened by other ethnicities. That ain't my problem. That's their problem. If they're the ones that's feeling inferior, or they're the ones that's feeling frightened or afraid or whatever, how the fuck you think we feel? We can't even go to the fucking grocery store. We can't even fucking walk down the street. You can look like an ordinary citizen. You can be a 68-year-old woman. You can be a 70-year-old man. Don't matter. You can be a fucking kid turning the corner with a fucking Tipperella cigar or some Black and Mild or whatever, and it beat the fuck out you, beat you senseless. Yeah. All right. But then you got this piece of shit in the White House that keeps on inciting shit and keeps on adding fuel to the fire. But then I got a dear friend of mine that's a Trumper that also is caught up in a whole bunch of what do you call them, conspiracy theories and stuff. I respect them enough to agree to disagree, but what I won't do is let them tell me how I feel, because they have never ever in their life been Black in America. I don't give a damn how they see it. They will never be Black, and they will never experience the things that my brothers and sisters, men and women and children of color have experienced. And they never will experience the shit that I've experienced in my life, coming from an interracial marriage, a product of an interracial marriage. Okay? So I respectively agree to disagree with my good buddy, but a lot of times, give him a chance. Talk about the president. And he was put in there, for the bankrupting of the money system and to get a new system, or a bullshit. That man is a bigot. He's a staunch racist. He's a liar. He's a whole lot of things. But then she'll try to throw up to me, and Obama wasn't. Hell no. Obama wasn't all of that. 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back. I'm back, y'all. I had to take a pause for the cause and run to the room. You are listening to Unapologetic Tea Time with your host, PG. That's me. However, back to what I was saying, this person, yeah, they've been a friend of mine for some years, a good friend, but we don't agree on race relations and politics. We fucking two polar opposites. But my thing is, we respect each other's viewpoint. And at the end of the day, I'm not mad at them. One day they might wake up and understand or get some understanding on just how bad in reality things really are for black and brown people, or people of color, or other ethnicities, including Asians, Latinos, um, Native Americans, Black Americans, you name it, we go through hell. But I say that to say all of this, y'all, it's not going to stop. It's going to get worse. What got to happen is people of other colors and other ethnicities have to learn. We're going to have to take and pry their eyes open, take the veil from them, from over their eyes and faces, and peel back a layer so that they can understand. We're going to have to do some role playing. We're going to have to put them in uncomfortable situations to where they may need to play as though they're black and walk down the fucking street, turn their cap backwards and see how they're treated. Get some makeup artists and stuff to make them appear to be black or what have you, and see how the fuck easily, bam, how they're fucking treated. And then and only then can they perhaps start to understand the vileness and the amount of racial inequality that goes on a daily basis, just trying to exist in society that we know today that's supposed to be fucking normal. And it's the most abnormalist thing on the face of this planet. So I say to the good people tonight or this morning that's out there protesting, be careful. Be careful. Go to the ballot box. Help to change things in that manner. Put people in places and in power that will work for you, not against you. Your vote does count, y'all. Our vote counts. The next thing I want to talk about quickly is, and moving right along swiftly and professionally, is a lot of people I'm hearing still that they have not received their stimulus checks and stuff. I got a couple people that reached out to me and asked me, Miss Pat, or hey PG, some people call me Miss Pat, but they know I'm a boy, not a girl. I'm a BOI boy. But anyway, they'll say, hey, I haven't, received, do you have any resources available? Like I could call or text or just to check. I mean, I've been checking, but maybe it's lost or something, the IRS.gov. They hired some phone operators, is all I can say, to field phone calls, y'all. There was a wave of debit cards that were sent in lieu of paper checks, and in lieu of direct deposits. There were these Visa debit cards that were sent there, blue with some white looking stars on them. I don't think it had any red writing, but it was kind of, patriotic background scene. But it came in an envelope. Hey, Aaron, how are you? And hey, BD Diva 69. Hope y'all are doing well. But it came in a kind of like an envelope that was generic, that people have actually literally, once they heard, and thankfully some of them was able to retrieve it from the trash can because they thought that it was a piece of junk mail. So I'm going to tell everyone that's listening and that will be listening in the future, if you know someone who hasn't received their stimulus check or their stimulus deposit, they actually may be receiving that stimulus debit card in the form of the Visa debit card, but it's coming in a generic fucking envelope, and people are throwing them in the garbage because it's looking like a piece of junk mail. So please, tell your family, friends, co-workers, neighbors, or whomever who, just in passing or talking or maybe chatting on the phone, whatever, if are having this type of issue and haven't seen their stimulus come through yet, hell, it might be, very well might be, sitting in their trash can, or they may have thrown it away thinking it was a piece of junk mail, and it wasn't, because the bad part is they didn't tell you or indicate to you who was going to receive the Visa debit card with the 1200 versus who was going to receive the paper checks. The majority of the people who didn't have a banking relationship or bank account or whatever for a direct deposit, they said that everybody then was going to get a paper check. Turns out, I guess they fucking got tired of printing the goddamn paper or whatever. Say, fuck it, we're gonna get some easy, we're gonna get some debit cards, and fuck, we're gonna send that. Or they ran out of paper that day or for those 2 days, and they had to get a bunch of debit cards and activate them and put them motherfuckers in the mail. So I'm not sure how that came about, because really there is no, it just popped up one day. And I'm like, why y'all issuing debit cards when you done told the people y'all gonna send them a check, and then you send out some checks, and now you're sending out debit cards to the other people. So it's just a clusterfuck. It's just, this was overwhelming for the IRS, for SBA, for this whole thing. Now that they have gone through these cycles, they see their mistakes, they see the issues and the problems, and I'm hoping and praying that they have taken good notes and planning for the future, because there will be another stimulus package. I don't know what form it's going to take, but I figure towards the middle to the end of the summer, there will be something. Also, I want to let you guys know that a lot of states got a little extra money. Remember when the CARES package said that they were going to give people who were already on food stamps, that who were not getting the maximum, was going to take them all the way up to the maximum amount that a single person or a family of however many could get. They were going to do that for the month of March and for the month of April. Well, there's like 38 states to date as of yesterday that actually did receive extra funding for their food stamp, SNAP program, EBT, whatever you want to call it, to get extra money to actually give those recipients who receive food stamps another kick out of the maximum food stamp allowance for the month of May. Now, I know a couple of people, one of them got their, I call it a kick out or allotment or whatever you want to call it, I don't know. They got theirs yesterday, and then this lady that I know, she said she checked, she called, and she will be getting her extra, a single lady, disabled, she will be getting her extra on the 29th, which is not very far. It's tomorrow, So a lot of people don't know, or they forgot, or because it was not highly publicized or televised. But check your SNAP or EBT balance or whatever they call it in your state. Tell your family or your elderly people that you know or whatever who do get it to check, to call that 800 number, I think, on the back of the card or the front of the card. I'm not sure where it's at because I don't have one. But tell them to call and they will be able to find out. But 37 states, so that's that's 3/4 of the country right there. Other states are also sending out secondary debit cards for the children who were getting free and or reduced lunch. They were giving you, like, if you got the max for the child, they were giving it to you in little small allotments. So I think May may be the last month, but who knows? They may stretch it again to June. I don't know how the funding is going, but that is something that I wanted to discuss and call out. I could believe people stealing mail. I could believe it. People will do anything. Fucking the world gone mad. The world is gone mad. People are crazy. But back to what I was saying is just check, because I don't know how your state works. I know that I'm in the state of Georgia. I reside in Georgia. And Georgia is one of those states that did get extra funding. Also, the state of Louisiana, born and raised, the boot state. That's right, 504, baby. Anyway, Louisiana is one of the states that got a few extra dollars in their coffers for the food stamps. Plus, they're one of the states, and also in California, B. Davy, 69, they were sending out extra debit card, EBT cards for children on free and reduced lunch as a little extra to help where they would normally get lunch at school or whatever, but schools have been closed. So check, and check, because there's things that's available, y'all, but sometimes you may not know about it, especially if it's not being talked about in the news media or put out in the newspapers or online. Moving right along, y'all, swiftly and professionally, I want to talk about voting. Where I see America today through my eyes is, if you want things to change in this country from the state that it is in right now, we're in a crisis. We're in a state of damn near no return and a state of no repair almost. But if we want to turn things around, y'all, we have to go to the polls and vote. We have to go to the polls and vote. My internet, I'm going to have to switch over quickly because it is going down on Comcast's end. So I'm going to have to, unfortunately, I see they're not back up and running correctly. My internet is, I'm looking right now, I'm having some issues. I hope that I'm not going in and out on you guys. Let me know if you can still hear me. But I'm looking, the internet is a little sporadic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to toggle and use my cell phone over to the PC in order to get service. So give me 1 second. Boy, it's a bitch where you got to crawl under this desk. Oh my God, y'all. All right, I got it plugged in. I always try to keep an extra cord and try to do some finagling, but yeah, it's going in and out. Damn. Hopefully y'all still hear me. Whew, I had to squeeze myself under my desk to plug in this cable for the phone to get switch over in case it goes all the way down. Okay. Hopefully we won't have to do that. But anyway, here we are back. You got to do what you got to do. We have to vote. We have to vote. We have to get people in places in power to work for us. If you don't like what's going on in your states, your city where you reside, or your community, your neighborhood, you have to put the right people in place. How do we do that? The elected officials work for the American people. We are the ones that hire them, and we're the ones that fire them. So, November is a very critical election. Show up, show out, vote um, by mail, vote however you can, vote. That's the only way, y'all, that we're going to be able, in my viewpoint, in my eyes, that we're going to be able to fix things. And it's not going to come swift. But when we put people in place to make changes for us, if we find once they're in there, in those offices and holding those positions, guys and gals, and they're not living up to what they said they were going to do in order to get your vote, then you have to move swiftly in order to come together to remove them from that political office. Lots of times we don't have to wait, y'all, until those 4 years is up, or 3 years, or 6 years, 8 years. We don't. There are things and mechanisms in place that we can remove certain politicians from those elected jobs that they hold if they're not doing what they're supposed to do. But also, we can hold them accountable and hold their feet to the fire by going to meetings, by going to down to City Hall, by going to our federal building, or going to the Capitol in our states and what have you, and lobbying and showing up and showing out, getting on the agenda to speak and talk about your issues at hand, writing letters, okay, calling your local officials. You start at the local level and you keep going further and further up the ladder. And then when you go all the way up, then you come back down the ladder and catch their asses again. And then you go back up that son of a bitch again. This is what we have to do. We have to hold these people accountable, because it's not really truly affecting them. It's affecting us. The majority of the people in the House of Representatives and in the Senate do not live in the poor and impoverished neighborhoods, or the regular, everyday, ordinary Joe Blow, middle class, upper middle class neighborhoods. No, they don't. They go far out on the outskirts of the district that they serve, or the areas that they serve. That's where they live. Gated communities, single houses, mini mansions, Mac mansions. You can't even get close to their sidewalk almost. But what you can do is when they go into their offices, and all of them have offices, they have people, secretaries, they have people that work, they have people that read those letters, that have to give it to them. They have to. So trust and believe. Some people don't hardly get mail. Others get a whole bunch of mail. Okay? But sooner or later, your plight will be heard, but you have to start somewhere. If we want America to change, and if we want things to be better in our communities, we have to make it better. When we hire the people to represent us, the politicians that I'm talking about, then we have to hold their feet to the fire. If that's what we have to do. If it means knocking on their damn doors, and I'm talking not at their house, but at their offices and their buildings where they work and go to that 9 to 5 or however. Sooner or later, they're gonna open the door. Sooner or later, okay. People tell me, "Oh, you can't meet with the mayor." The hell, I can't. Watch me. Oh, you can't. You can't get in to see the cop. Yes, watch me. Well, you wrote a letter. I doubt if they're gonna respond. I bet they do. You know, it just depends, y'all. And that's all I'm saying. We got to do what it is we got to do. Moving along swiftly and professionally, y'all. In order for us to survive in the next 3 to 6 months, everything that you do or see right now is going to change the game. Reason I'm able to say that is because when you want to know what's truly going on, go into the grocery stores and look at the prices. Then leave out of the grocery stores and go to a big box store such as Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, BJ's, Costco's, not Fred Meyer's. There's a couple of other places in the north and northeast and even in California. Go look at the prices. Those prices are going to determine the future in 3, 6, and 12-month increments. 2 weeks ago in the grocery stores, prices were a little less on eggs, a little less on coffee, just a smidget less on bacon, smidget less on meat. Let's fast forward to present. Look at the prices. We're having a meat shortage, y'all. I don't care how much they try to lie and says, oh, we're not short on meat, go to the store. They may have some meat, and where the meat used to be double and triple stacked, like the prepackaged meat at Kroger and Myers, Fred Meyer's and King Scooper and Winn-Dixie and Rouse's and Walmart, they're limiting you. You can buy 2 packs of beef, 2 packs of chicken. You got to make a choice. Well, I'm going to get some ground meat, but I want some steak. Okay, you got that. Then you go over, you try to get some chicken. You gonna get some chicken wings or you gonna get a whole chicken. Pay attention. If you don't have a deep freezer, you probably can't afford to buy one right now because the motherfuckers went from $149.99 for a nice little chest size freezer. That same chest freezer, try to buy one the day they're out of stock and it's $400. Then buy one a little bit bigger than that, like a 6.2 cubic foot freezer, is $1,000. That same freezer used to cost $499. Okay? But you can't find them. They're out of stock everywhere. So, buy a second refrigerator if you have a garage or an extra space to put one. A carport, long as it's out of the elements. Buy an extra refrigerator. It don't have to be a great big one, but buy an extra one if you can afford it. And that way you could perhaps put frozen vegetables and some meat products and some other things or some dairy and some fruit or whatever in that refrigerator. Besides your regular everyday refrigerator that you normally work out of, at home. Because we're going to need it. If you haven't started a garden, y'all, from my perspective and my views and from what I see, grow a couple of tomato plants. Grow a little bit of, it's a little hot for lettuce right now, so it'll start to bolt on you. But as soon as the fall comes, put some lettuce in some seeds or whatever, grow some lettuce. You can have lettuce and tomatoes and cucumber, whatever. At least that's a salad, and that's stuff that you have to buy at the grocery. And you can control it you can go out there and snip off some lettuce leaves and what have you. Okay? This is what I see in America, that how we're unraveling bit by bit. They tell you, oh, don't worry about that. Oh, no. You have to worry about what they're not saying. Not what they're saying, but what they're not telling you. You see? Because certain things that they may want to say, the government can't necessarily just blur it out. Plus, we got a fucker, a dotard in the White House So he's so stupid, he not gonna tell you the right thing any goddamn way. Don't drink no bleach. Don't drink that kind of Kool-Aid. It's not good for you. Trust and believe. It's gonna hurt you. Don't drink no Lysol. All right. Do not take hydroxychloroquine. He ain't taking it either. Don't fall for the okie doke, y'all. But certain things, what they telling you is not what they're telling you. It's what they're not saying, y'all. They want to give you this little stimulus check. All right. That $1,200 that they just gave everybody, and some people still waiting on it, is not doing shit. Okay. People's rent in California and other places across the country is more than $1,200 a month. All right. House notes are more than that for some people. Okay. You have a family of 2 or 3. What you gonna do with it? You got to decide what you can do with it first, because some people, it helped them a lot. Others, it didn't do much at all. All I'm saying is get all you can together while you can right now. Okay? We ain't seen nothing yet, y'all. Through my eyes, I'm saying get all you can while you can right now. Stack the bag, whatever they call it, stack the purse, whatever they want to call it, stack your wallet, pad your wallet. Do what you need to do to get yourself in some kind of position in order to be able to weather the storm that still got to come in the very near future. We have topped over 100,000 deaths in this great nation called United States of America. Okay? The numbers are climbing. The death toll is rising, and the amount and rate of infections are climbing, y'all. So please, I'm saying from my views, what I see that's going on is you have to try to get yourself together for this rainy day. We ain't seen it come yet, but trust and believe it's on its way. Well, y'all, that's really all I have to talk about right now through my eyes, for my views and opinions. You've been listening to Unapologetic Tea Time with your host, PG, that's me. Check out my blog at www.unapologetic-time with pg.com. I will have some extra resources available on there later on today, and actually on Friday as well. I have a big surprise for all of my listeners and all of my subscribers. The surprise, I'm going to give you a hint. It's going to actually give you something, each and every one of you, at no cost. And it has to do with finances. Okay? All you have to do is register, and you will be given. Because I am an account holder of these 2 entities, they are giving away some freebies, and they're good as freebies, y'all. Some people have never dealt with stocks before. This is going to be, and I'm kind of letting the cat out the bag as a hint, but this is going to be your time to get something that you didn't have to buy. All you have to do is hold on to it and watch it grow, and then you can sell the son of a bitch off and make a little bit of a profit, free of charge. So tune in to my blog at www.unapologetic-time with pg.com on tomorrow evening, and you will have all the links there, and I will make a brief announcement on Friday, late afternoon, announcing what I'm giving away because I have an account with these two large entities that I have been working with for a number of years. They've treated me right. And finally, I have been able to become an affiliate of theirs or partnered with them. And since I have my YouTube channel, I was invited by them to actually do this project in conjunction with them and reach out to some of my subscribers and give away some product. So stay tuned for that. There's a big announcement coming on Friday. I hope that you all do well and prosper during this time. Stay on your P's and Q's. Dot all your I's and cross all your T's, y'all. Prepare for the worst and pray and hope for the best. I love you. Take care. Be safe. Bye now.